Thank you, everyone, for holding. We are now joined with head coach Krista Gerlich of Texas Arlington. If you have a question for Coach Gerlich, please press star 1 at this time to get in the queue to ask questions. Again, that's star 1 to get in the queue to ask questions for Coach Gerlich of UT Arlington. The Mavericks are heading to Louisiana to face ULM and ULL this weekend. Coach, before we get to questions, please give us your thoughts on the season so far and what you're looking forward to as we head down the stretch.
All right, thanks, Randy. Well, obviously, I feel like our season we're kind of in a struggle for sure. I think that we are kind of in a little funk right here, but I think our kids have been playing really hard and playing pretty well. We just can't seem to, quite figure out how to get the W, and we're in a bit of a skid. So we are looking forward to getting out of that for sure. But it's one of those things too where our kids are trying to do what we ask them to do. We've got some young kids playing in some different spots, and our depth is a little bit of a concern to me. But at the same time, I feel like on any given night we have a different person step up, and I think that's kind of our deal as far as our point production as well. We're pretty balanced scoring, but we don't seem to all be on track at the right time or on the same night. And it's going to take us, more than just one or two people for us to have a good night for us to win, because we just don't have that score that can just do it by themselves, really. But I think that we've been in some games and we've played really tight, and we just got to figure out how to get over that mental edge, and the third quarter particularly has really posed some problems for us, and so we've really been trying to attack that and figure out some solutions to that problem. But we're looking forward to continuing to play and continuing to get better, and what we know about this conference is that there's a lot of parity, and on any given night, anyone can upset anyone, and we can have some great games and great competition. So I think it's one of those things where we just need to get over the hump and get us a win and get back to feeling confident about what we're doing.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. As a reminder to our members of the media, please press star 1 at this time to get in the queue to ask questions for Coach Gerlich. Our first questions come from Dan McDonald with McD Media. Dan, please go ahead.
Morning, Coach.
Morning.
You talked about your team, sort of in a little bit of a funk right now. You've had those 3 close losses in a row, and now you've got to go on the road and play 5 in a row. What do you do to try to get them out of that funk?
Yeah. Well, obviously we've been trying everything. And one thing about this team, I feel like we have played a little bit better on the road for whatever reason, and maybe our focus is a little bit better, and we only have each other to rely on when we're on the road. But, I like our team. I like our mentality, and our kids don't have quit in them. So I think it's just a matter of continuing to show them film of our own games and kind of where we need to improve, and then obviously our scout. We're a team that I feel like that when we have a scout, if we have one defensive breakdown, the other teams seem to be really making us pay for that. And our kids, we call that karma, by the way, but but we have really been trying to work on focusing in and just continuing to build them up and getting better every day. And that's really all we can do. I mean, we got to get up and keep working hard and know that we can right the ship.
A lot of the coaches on here have talked about defensive play in the conference. You said that, your defense, every once in a while you have one breakdown, and teams have seemed to hurt you when you do it. Do you think defensive play across the league is better maybe, and is that something you really have to keep emphasizing toward the second half of the year? I
do think that our conference does a nice job of guarding people, and I think that everybody does a good job of scout and really taking away things that the opponents like to do well. And I think that then those are the adjustments. I know that's what we have trouble with, are the adjustments that are made maybe within the game, and we don't adjust as well or as quickly as we need to from those adjustments, if that makes sense. But I do think that it is a very defensive strong conference, and every night, you got to really come out and battle, and you really can't have off shooting nights against teams that can really guard.
And your guys have done a good job of that in the first part of the year. Did you think your team would be solid defensively going into the year?
I hope so, because that's really kind of what we hang our hat on. I don't feel like that we have been as adamant about it as I would like us to be. I don't think that our mentality has been as strong as it has been in the past. And we're having to change our defenses up a little bit more and run a few more zones than maybe we would like, whether it be adjusting to officials or even foul trouble or whatever it might be. But I do think that we're defensive minded, and I wanted us to be a strong defensive team, but I don't feel like that we're where we need to be in order to compete with the teams at the top of the conference.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. One more follow-up question for you, Coach Gerlich. Last year with Rebecca's emergence, obviously last year helped your team out quite a bit, and this year she continues to be one of the top 20 scorers in our league at 10 points a game, and also rebounding as well, being in the top 5 of most rebounding categories. What do you think on the offensive side? Do you think for her, has she seen a little bit more attention from defenses this season, and have you tried to give her a little bit more help in whatever sets you're running and the offense that you plan in for each game?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that she has gained some attention this year, and that the cornerstone of everyone's defense centers around her. And we can't forget that she's just a sophomore, and I think that her and Sierra both kind of came into the season a little bit hesitant about that sophomore slump, if you will, and they've heard people talk about it, and I've really tried to keep them from really buying into that because we don't need them to. But I think that she has definitely garnered more attention, and I feel like we've added a little bit more movement and a little bit more opportunities for our guards to score, and we need our guards to be aggressive and attack the basket and knock down some shots and in order to loosen it up for Rebecca. And so I think that there's times, when we've had some really successful games, we've all kind of been clicking on all cylinders, and that's what I meant earlier by saying that we're really not a team where just Rebecca can go off and have 20, 25 points and we're just going to win. Like, we've still got to have a couple of other kids step up, so we've got to have that balanced scoring, and people got to do their job so that everybody can't just hone in on Rebecca.
All right, Coach, I think that's all the questions we have for you today. We appreciate your time.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate it.